Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included in the Ultimate Base 3.0. In the previous episode we almost wrapped up Coldito. I think we should be able to do it in today's episode. Maybe even with our current visit, we'll have to see. At the moment Ellie is doing splendidly with only 132 rats. It's below the average, so I'm pretty proud of her. But joking aside, after building all the infrastructure, I want to tear apart the entirety of the Planetoid and then ship everything over to the main Planetoid. And another thing we wanted to do is actually feed the cooling loop here with some supercoolant. Wait a second, the steel actually managed to melt. How did I do it on the other thingamabob? I mean, this wire never melted, did it? Oh, there was never a wire. But there's definitely a rail, and I built it out of wolframite, so that is the culprit. Jeez, how could I forget about that? But luckily enough, I left the supercoolant in place, so we can go ahead and fix that. Looks like we're almost done here with the piping. Why is this important? Yeah, this is gonna be all supercoolant going... I remember now. I just wanted to add a short cooling loop so we can get things going already. And since right now we are still having a lot of chill in this biome, I'm not in a hurry to cool them actively. So that was the game plan, to do it in 2 steps. Now that this is open, we should be able to undo this. Yeah, conveyor rail out of steel. No, we want it. Actually, we don't even have to deconstruct it. We just have to choose another material. And it's going to be wolframite here, wolframite there. As for the cabling, I don't actually have the smelted wolframite, but we do have a rock... No, we don't even have a rock crusher here. We have to build it first. Yeah, I think that's going to be the easiest. We just go ahead, build a rock crusher, hook it up, and refine some wolframite into tungsten this way. So if we do this right, we can first make the smaller cooling loop that is just going back. Eventually it will also cool this down before it actually goes back here, and it will also first cool these 2 steam turbines before it goes up in the future. But we basically just need this pipe in place so we can load up the supercoolant and kind of guesstimate what we need for it. And while we're at it, we also pick up some more granite here. Now it looks like we're already lacking the water again here on Crudial, and then this problem here is not fixed with the heatsink. I always get some port loaders and unloaders that keep on smelting. So maybe it's time to send over some more steel to Crudial. I think they could use it over there. Let's switch that one up here to manufactured materials, change the destination to Crudial, and then we're gonna send over some steel necessary for all these contraptions. But yeah, basically since we're running out of water, we'll have to take care of that. I already filled up 1 water tank. Probably, we shouldn't do 2, otherwise it's too exaggerated. So yeah, I would say without any further ado, we're gonna make our way over to Crudial together with Turner and bring over some more water. Turner is tagging along and the rocket can launch. I mean, this system here with the heatsink is just so convenient. It never really gets hot here. I mean, sure, it raises to 400-500 degrees, but then it cools down quite immediately. And these guys here, they actually stop at around 1000 degrees and then they cool down again. Anyways, let's make some more progress here on Coldito. I see we already have the rock crusher in place. What we should do? What do we need? Not much, just 1 craft would actually do. And wait, not cobalt, of course. I want to get some tungsten from wolframite. We get 50 kilograms, that's all we require. 1 craft is enough. Look at this, Turner is definitely feeling quite happy, or insane. It's a fine line in Oxygen Not Included. Alright, looks like actually the cooling loop has already been built. I decided to make this out of granite pipes because technically it's not really that important here. I just want to be able to regulate it, and igneous rock or even ceramic would be a total overkill. But now with our initial cooling loop in place, let's make sure we have this at the correct setting. How much do we want to cool this down? Let's see, we are cooling down water with it, so we cannot exceed the freezing temperature here. Let's set this to above 15 degrees, then we want to cool it down. And with that out of the way, let's pump in some supercoolant. Do we have exclusively supercoolant here? Is there something on the top? Sometimes it's hard to tell. Liquid, yeah, look at that. There's some nasty water. Yeah, I don't think we can actually conveniently do something about that other than just setting up a sensor. Liquid pipe element sensor, let's do that here. A little vent and then some automation. NOT gate, or we could do without a NOT gate, but I just find it more secure this way. So I want to make sure to build this first, and only after that we're gonna hook up the pipes. As for the sensor, we want to detect some supercoolant. Where are you? Right there. And if it is supercoolant, then we're gonna close the vent. Therefore, the supercoolant can go through and all other liquids are gonna be expelled. We also have some enriched uranium outside of the contraption, so eventually I will also have to add another conveyor loader or something. Yeah, I think I might just do that here, and then we can hook up a rail like so, and it's gonna go through the same mechanism. But this way I will be able to input all the enriched uranium I still have outside. There it is, coming in at 5 degrees, so that's not even gonna be cooled down by the aqua tuner. But then we're gonna make our way immediately back and start cooling down the water here, which is the most important part because that's what we want to use to get our items to the final temperatures. Now, to be on the safe side, I would suggest we're gonna replace those tiles, because if we for some reason make a mistake and this actually pops into steam, I don't want everything to escape. Oh no, Ellie, you are making a big mistake. I'm building this and not... Oh no, I totally missed that. She needs to get out of there really quick. Yeah, geez, I think this is the final time I'm actually not gonna do things without the lead suit. I'm just too lazy to set up a lead suit for some reason, but I shouldn't be. Ellie is not in a good place right now, and I kind of want to make sure she's working on something that isn't gonna expose her even more. She needs to vomit a couple of times first. And oh yeah, going to bed is actually a good thing. She absorbed 378 rats, and it's gonna go above 400 now as soiled suit. 380, 382. Okay, she's inside. She's gonna get rid of 100 or so rats now. It's all good, but I should really observe her better when I give stupid commands. Also, I have this debris over here, which really sucks, because sometimes she wants to get it. And now, wait, are we already expelling the water? Hopefully. Is water dripping out and supercoolant is continuing? Okay. There's still some supercoolant inside of the payload opener, which... let me see. Yeah, I wanted to drop this down here, but I totally forgot to build the chute. So eventually I would like to see a liquid vent, but I'm gonna set this to low priority because, well, you know what. But we're now filling up the cooling loop more and more. We will have to send over even more supercoolant, especially when we start to expand the loop, but things are now finally coming along. Okay, I brought her rats down below the 200 mark by basically vomiting a lot. So now hopefully we can continue as normal here with our task. Oh, check this out. The first items are actually already going for it. So we are extracting the iron through here. Oh yes, finally! I actually totally missed that, so what we'll have to do is disable this guy and enable all of the rat ball generators. And now we will be sending back the materials. Ah, this is amazing. It's historic. And so they're going through here. What is my final temperature? If we are, let's say, above 50 degrees, no, below 50 degrees, then I would like to send over the materials. Actually, I'm gonna go even lower to 40 degrees. Why the heck not? So now this should actually go rather quickly in the future. We're filling this up with rat bolts, sending over the materials. And I already got the first 2 contraptions hooked up. Now, why isn't this circulating? I must have missed something here. Yeah, here it is working, and that is because I put the bridge the wrong way here. Okay, this should be connected, bridge pointing into the other direction. And it will come down here, go over, cross this guy, and then move over. Okay, that makes much more sense. That means one more time back in there. I'm so glad I left the supercoolant. There. Now, with the conveyor bridge facing the other way, we are gonna be all fine. Wonderful. Now we have the items circulating how they are supposed to, and we can hopefully close this off for the very last time. And then we can start building on the other 2 volcanoes. We should be done after that. Yeah, looks like this we are producing a little bit more rats than I wanted to, especially when we are cleaning the railgun here, the interplanetary launcher, then I waste a lot of rats. But on the other side, the research reactor is also always running, and you could actually argue whether or not that is a waste. My cooling loop is slowly but surely filling up a little bit more. This is actually looking very promising. And I'm just waiting for the last few things to be built here by Ellie before we can continue with the other 2 volcanoes. In terms of temperatures at the moment, I seem to be able to keep up more or less. Do not worry about this part here. In the future, I would like to kind of enclose this with a vacuum. So I'm basically gonna complete this part right here and make sure this is a vacuum. But the heat we are seeing occasionally here doesn't matter because it is coming from the items either way that are going through here. But yeah, I would say we keep going with the next room. We need a conveyor shut-off here. You go there. A thermo sensor, and then of course we cannot miss an auto sweeper. We also don't need this shebang anymore. That was here to get our initial water. And we're also gonna reroute the cabling here a little bit. I basically want to come in from this side, and then we'll also have to power up the transformer, which I think we can already build. Yeah, let's put it right there. And then finally hook all of these up. I think that's all we require in terms of machinery. What I'm also gonna do is aluminium plate this up with some wallpaper, except these two tiles of course that otherwise melt, and we want to fill this up with 2 temp shift plates made out of ice initially, if you remember. Also we seal it off from this side and then set up some supercoolant. Actually that doesn't look right. Yeah, we need to go up 1 more block. And we have more and more refined iron now being shipped over. I just love it. I think over time it becomes a little bit better the more these guys here are out of sync. So that is definitely something to consider. Interesting, this liquid pump just keeps on pumping no matter what. I thought they would automatically stop. But maybe it's because it tries to pick up the supercoolant on the right side. But here we go, finally more supercoolant incoming that I can actually utilize to fill up the loop. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to finish these 2 contraptions the same way we already did and combine everything together, and then we can get started with actually taking out the planetoid completely. Also, I figured 150 degrees is a little bit low. We should go to 170 degrees as a threshold to get the items out of there. Let's maybe do these together. There's gonna be a timer sensor here for the auto sweeper. Also, I built the auto sweeper. No, I actually built it the right way. But what we want first is a pump here. So we're gonna install the temporary gas pump in order to get the gases out of there, of course. And before I forget, this is actually really important, a load of supercoolant. Can you do that right now, please? Just a teensy tiny drop, that's all. Oh, yeah, that's actually all I need, and the rest will have to mop up anyway. Good stuff. Okay, I'll be right back once this is finished and we can continue with the cooling loop, for instance. Okay, this might become a very short episode. I just did a lot of off-camera work. I also already started poking out the planetoid. As you can see, we're now trying to get everything rolling. So if I just keep on building a couple of ladders, I should be able to take out the entirety of the planetoid. And whenever we don't need the ladders anymore, we're just taking them apart again. I made a little shield here because Ellie was just getting too sick and I had to block the radiation somewhat. But now we are working our way downstairs, and I'm also finishing with the last iron volcano. I first had to wait for this guy to become dormant again, otherwise it was just not possible to start building things. It would just overheat quite immediately. And now I have a tiny drop of supercoolant on here, so we can start pumping things out. I believe I'm already doing that. No, this has no power. Of course, I'm missing the power transformer, my bad. But that can go right there, and then we should be getting rid of that problem. I did drop a lot of hot iron down here, which is why this all is melted, but we can still pick things up there. And then as soon as this room is pumped out, we can basically wrap things up. I believe I have not built the rails just yet. Let's maybe do that. So come out of here, hop there, do that, go along here, wiggle, 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 wiggle up, over, and then out of here, going into the system. Wonderful. We're gonna need a bridge right there, and then this and this guy will have to be made out of wolframite. So let's reconnect this. Great, okay, that's basically all we need. I'm also waiting for this guy to become active because I want to set up 1 more temp shift plate. At the moment we have 2 temp shift plates right here, so as soon as they have melted, we're gonna be going back in there setting up just 1 more plate. And also, before I forget, we need some supercoolant here on the floor, so I'm gonna start clearing things up. And oh yes, I also expanded 1 cooling loop here, so now we have 2 steam turbines being actively cooled, and we can keep on doing that. So the first one will probably go down. So instead of going up right here, we would be going down first, down here, then move over, do some cooling. I guess we could just do some radiant pipes here, and then we switch back to insulated pipes and we go straight up and over. That actually makes a ton of sense if you ask me. So I'm gonna go up, move a little bit over. It would have been great to actually go this way. In this case, I'm gonna bypass the steam turbine output, and we make our way up here, and then we can do a final cooling maneuver before making our way back and then going upstairs as intended. This is great. This is actually going to be a great cooling loop, and we probably need to send over just a tiny amount more supercoolant. Actually, let's do that right away. Should be easy enough. This one is still set to Coldito. We are just going to reset this for another 40 pipes or so. I'm probably going to do 2 loads. It's not like we're lacking the supercoolant or anything. I can barely send over enough resources to actually make this worthwhile. However, as soon as we start sending back the rest of the materials, especially also the ice, that might be interesting. I can set up another bottle emptier here to spread a layer of supercoolant for the steam turbine and the transformer. And we're gonna be doing the same thing here on the top, but I first would like to see that cooling loop completed. That would be great. And of course, in the meantime, I'm gonna keep on deconstructing the terrain. I want to make sure that nothing actually gets left behind on the neutronium cliffs there. So we might first want to pick those up. Okay, so at this point it's going to be quite a repetitive task, and I think we might not actually make it before running out of oxygen, at least to completely finish this planetoid off. So instead of hurrying and worrying too much, we are just gonna finish the construction of these guys so that I can close them off. Let me actually see, this guy's gonna be active in 21 cycles. I'm probably back before that. So yeah, but it would be nice to actually see the cooling loops finished, so at least we can already fill them up with the supercoolant here. As you can see, the supercoolant right now is queuing up because all the pipes are full. And it looks as though we have to at least extract 1 pipe here. Yeah, at the moment they cannot actually run through very smoothly, but that's gonna change once we add the entirety of the cooling loop and then maybe subtract 1 or 2 packets out of there. Also, before I forget, we should do that and that. Get that bridge going. Is this already a vacuum? Yeah, looks like it's a vacuum, so I can get rid of the gas pump here as well. And that construction. This is gonna allow me to finish the automation. Where would this go? Yeah, right there. And yeah, you've seen that now a couple of times. I'm just gonna wrap things up here with Ellie and then fly back in order to refuel the rocket, and then we can make our way one last time over here in order to deliver all the materials. We're gonna hollow out the entire planetoid and then send everything over through the means of the interplanetary launcher. But yeah, with that out of the way, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it and you're looking forward to the next episode where we finally will have this finished. Thank you, have a great time, and see you soon. Bye bye.